Hey guys, welcome back to Coach Hall Writes. Today's video is actually an update because I have covered this topic before. However, today we're going to talk about how to write a thesis statement for a rhetorical analysis essay. Before we begin, I wanted to let you guys know that I'm going to be launching a rhetorical analysis ebook right before the 2021 exam. So go ahead and check out the description box below so that you can join the waitlist and be the first to know when it launches. Before we get started, I wanted to take a second to answer a couple questions that I see both teachers and students asking quite frequently. The first is, what does defensible actually mean? Because on the AP Lang rubrics, it says that you need a defensible thesis. Well, quite frankly, defensible just means that it can be proven or justified. Defensible does not actually mean sophisticated. Those are two different things. Another really common question is, do I need a closed thesis statement or is it better to have an open thesis statement? And quite frankly, I tend to lean more toward the closed thesis statement. Now, I've heard arguments against this. I've heard the argument that when students go to college, because their papers are longer, they're going to need to know how to write an open thesis statement. This is true. However, I also like to keep the exam in mind. So if we're talking about a timed writing situation in which students only have approximately 40 minutes to write a rhetorical analysis essay, a closed thesis statement, generally speaking, is easier for students and it's still defensible. And there are actually ways to make it better. So sometimes I think closed thesis statements get a bad rap. That being said, an open thesis statement can seem a bit more eloquent. However, I've also seen students attempt to write an open thesis statement and it actually read more like a summary and wasn't defensible. Now, they might have had a defensible statement elsewhere in their essay, but there's pros and cons to both. Regardless of whether you prefer a closed thesis statement or an open thesis statement, the key is it needs to be defensible. Therefore, there needs to be a reference to rhetorical choices, what the writer is doing. And also, you need to keep the prompt in mind. So is the prompt asking about a message, an argument, or a purpose? You need to specify what the message, argument, or purpose is. I mentioned earlier that there are ways to take a closed thesis statement and improve it. And one of those ways is to focus on using rhetorically accurate verbs. So a lot of times when I'm reading student work, I see that they use the word uses and then they have a device after it, a noun, something like repetition or juxtaposition. As I'm going to show you in the upcoming slides, if you can take those nouns and use the verb form, it will improve the quality of your thesis statement. Also, it doesn't have to be tied to a device. So repetition can become repeats, juxtaposition can become juxtaposes. However, there are other choices as well. So ask yourself, what is the writer doing? Are they flattering the audience? Are they criticizing someone? These are choices as well. I commonly see two different methods for writing a rhetorical analysis essay, a device-driven essay and a chronological essay. Now, I personally prefer to teach the chronological way, and I will be doing videos on this. However, I'm a firm believer in meeting students where they are, and I don't believe in a one-size-fits-all approach. So for some students, a device-driven approach is more appropriate for their skill set. So I'm going to show you guys thesis statement frames that will fit both approaches. With these examples of sentence frames, we're going to start simple, and then we're going to progress to some sentence frames that are a bit more advanced. So if you're just starting out with rhetorical analysis, this might be a good starting point for you. So basically where it says speaker or writer, you're going to put the speaker or writer's name there. And then I put tone in parentheses because it can be a good idea to reference the tone of the speech, letter, or article. And then if you know who the direct audience is, you can include that there where it says to audience. So the stuff in parentheses is kind of optional. Then you'll see that it says he or she uses. Now, uses is not the most sophisticated verb there, and this tends to have us put devices in the blanks because we need nouns. So again, it's not the most advanced way to do this, but it is defensible. So you could say, like, he uses repetition and juxtaposition to, and then you would say the purpose. So again, it's really simple, but it does work, and it's easy to remember under pressure. This next sentence frame is very similar. However, it has one very important change, and that is that we're taking the word uses out, and instead we're trying to use rhetorically accurate verbs. So you'll see here that the sentence frame looks very similar, except the blanks are for verbs, and that makes it a stronger thesis statement. So I've included a couple examples here so you could see some different ways to fill in those blanks. If you're looking for something a little bit more advanced, here are 3 additional sentence frames that you could use for a defensible thesis statement. One of the reasons why I like sentence frames is because it's a formula that can be modified. So it allows students to better articulate their ideas and work on improving their syntax while at the same time conveying their own original thoughts. So yes, these sentence frames can be modified to suit your needs. You're welcome to take a screenshot of this or write them down in your notebook if you think these sentence frames would be useful. Regardless of whether or not you use a sentence frame from this video or you like to do your own thing, maybe you have a different sentence frame that you like, here is a list of questions to ask yourself as you're writing your introductory paragraph. Typically speaking, a lot of students put the thesis statement as the last sentence of the intro. This can be very helpful because it clarifies your argument from the onset. And remember, your body paragraphs are supposed to be proving your thesis using evidence and commentary. So having a clear, defensible thesis at the beginning of your essay will help you stay focused, and it will help your reader understand what you're trying to analyze. Want more tips on mastering an AP Lang Question 2 rhetorical analysis essay? Well, then don't forget to check out the description box below for more information about my Mastering Rhetorical Analysis ebook. And if you like this video, please do me a huge favor and give it a thumbs up. Until next time, guys, happy writing!